So I was on Twitter like a dummy. I should have stayed off of Twitter. And I saw in our local news here in the state of Maine that some turd biscuit just decided it was a good idea to break into a utility truck for a company that came to our state, out of state, to help get our power back here in the state of Maine. I have choice words about that, but I'm going to dip into this just a little bit on the news feeds. I'm not going to pull it up because I don't really think you guys should have to. Well, maybe I can. Maybe I can. Um, see, we'll go with window capture. Okay. Um, all right. You guys don't need to see my face or my YouTube stuff, but we're gonna kind of shrink this down. I didn't. This is an impromptu video, so none of this is set up to do this kind of reactionary content, like at all. I don't usually do reaction content, but I thought this one kind of deserved. Let's call it less than honorable mention here. Um, Twitter tab. Okay, so I take serious issue with this, like a huge issue. I worked as a flagger with my fiance for more than a couple of months and a year by myself, almost a full year. I take serious issue with this because I know what kind of work goes into what they're doing here, and it is a pain in the nuts. They came all the way from out of state. Let me just read off this first line for you. Out of state utility workers helping restore power after last week's storm say their trucks were broken into and equipment stolen in Augusta. Augusta police say last Thursday morning, power line crews staying at Fairfield Inn and Suites woke up to find several items missing from their trucks, including wire and tools, which were worth between $1,000 to $5,000. There's an active police investigation and won't release details on the incident. That's pretty standard procedures when you actually know how the police work. Just so you guys can kind of see it, I'll even gauge it up a little bit so you can read what I just read for myself if you want to actually pause the video, and then I'm going to delete the window feed in OBS. I'm going to kind of go there for a second. I try to make it disappear, but we'll just minimize it. There you go. It's out of the way. I'm gonna go here for a hot second. How much of that $1,000 to $5,000 are going up someone's nose or in their friggin' arm right now? Mm-hmm. So you can imagine I'm not really too impressed. You know, I love my state. I love living here. It's usually nice and quiet as long as you're not living in a city, which is never quiet anyway, for various reasons, and not police sirens, usually just traffic and helicopters and yada yada yada, people making racket. Um, this this has me more than just a little triggered, and triggered enough to do a second emergency really session that I think no one's gonna see, but we're gonna go there for a hot second. Um, you don't steal from the people who are trying to friggin' help you. That's not okay. It's not acceptable by any metric or standard. And if you think it is, then you need to, one, evaluate your life's policies, and two, go back to school and relearn what moral values means because you clearly have none and lack the basic understanding of what the phrase even means. You are the lowest piece of scum on this earth, and you deserve whatever punishment the law rails down on your freaking head. I'm sorry. These people came here to help you, not be a victim of your stupidity. And yes, I'm a Christian. I just used the word stupid and probably cussed a couple times too. You kind of got under my skin with this one, and I should have stayed off of Twitter. I knew it. I can handle all the you're a bigot, blah blah blah. Seeing what I just saw, seeing that Like, all right, I can handle being insulted in every way, shape, or form. You can say what you want to about my state. You can call us a bunch of morons and maniacs or whatever you guys are calling us these days. But then I see something like this on my local news, and I get a little irritated, more than just a little annoyed. Um, and congratulations to Twitter for managing to pee in my cereal bowl before New Year's Day when I was supposed to be having a good day with a New England boiled dinner. Not really too impressed about the fact that I saw that, but it is newsworthy and very much irritating. Very largely annoying. Um, like, so much so, it is hard to formulate a proper analogy. It's like it's like going to a restaurant that is serving free food, stealing like a $5,000 machine from their kitchen because you want to go get high. They just got done feeding you, and you're gonna go do that. You can imagine I'm not really too impressed with this fact. In fact, I hope whoever this moron is, or group of idiots is, I hope they throw the book at them and they don't see the light. It's probably just going to be like a fine or something, but I would love to see a year or two in jail just so that way they can get clean and get educated. And I think proper education and proper moral structures and how not to be a dipshit would be a good thing to learn while they're in behind bars. This is reprehensible, unacceptable. This is the kind of behavior that is making our country look like crap right now. And this person who did this is not the only person doing this kind of scummy crap. I decided to make a video on this because Twitter's little box isn't big enough to express just how disappointed and mad that makes me. These people have come from how far to service our state when they didn't have to. They were paid to come here and help us, not not be a party to your BS, not be the victims in some sick little thing that you have in your head that says that your drug addiction matters more than the dignity of those who are in your state, my state, servicing your community and your state when they didn't have to. They could have stayed home, probably wouldn't have made as much money as that CMP is going to be paying them, and we're inevitably going to have to pay that back, I'm sure. Um, but this is wrong. This is sick and twisted, and you wonder why I make videos and comments about a zero sum moral fiber here in this country. It's because of stuff like this. All right. You want to sit here and go on and on about how you have the high horse because of some BS that no one cares about. Literally no one. And then when people are trying to help people with a problem associated to the things that they do care about, in this case, the electricity that heats, powers, and, well, keeps their food coming to the table and preserved, and someone does something stupid like this, I'm sure I'll get more than a couple comments when I share this link on Twitter about this exact thing. They're going to say, oh, well, it's not their fault. They're suffering from a disease that they chose to start doing. Not a disease that they contracted not of their own volition. It's not like cancer. It's not like the common cold. It is, in fact, extremely unlike them because they made the choice to start doing these things in the first friggin' place. So excuse me if my sympathy is gone at this point. I know that there is no definite cause that, it had to do with drugs or whatever, but it's in the state of Maine, typically when this stuff happens, you can attribute it largely to drugs. Very much so. It is not out of desperation for housing or anything like that. Normally, here in Maine, if you're from Maine, and even if you're not, you're usually very well taken care of. Usually. The people who are homeless in this state are homeless because they want to live here, but they don't want to live according to the standards that the housing board has for them when it comes to places that are Section 8 approved and etc., which is that they don't want to go through the process of dealing with their disability, or they don't want to go hold volunteer employment, or they don't want to do anything except sit on their butts and do drugs. I'm sorry, I have no sympathy. Zero. None. I have been homeless myself willfully homeless, actually. For many years now, I have been bouncing between friends and family's places because mostly these people have let me stay there rent free. In fact, there's a very real possibility that I will be encompassing some land myself at some point in time in the very near future, which is why my friends and family are helping me. They are not giving me free handouts. They are helping me and assisting me with bypassing the bank's BS about owning property. That is different than what these people are doing. They're living out of tents to do drugs because they got caught in their previous living arrangement doing drugs and other illicit activities, and they are in trouble for it. I'm sorry, but when you do that, all right, I'll generally keep my mouth shut. When you do that, and then you go steal $5,000 worth of equipment, $1,000 to $5,000 worth of equipment from a power construction company that is helping to rebuild your state's fairly wrecked up power grid, and they didn't have to. I'm sure they have problems in their own state. I have an issue with you. I will always have an issue with you, and I will speak to it. And I don't care who says it. I don't care who says what. I have a big issue with this problem. You want to justify drug use. You want to justify that these people have a problem. Okay, solve the problem, get rid of the drugs, or make the drugs less appealing so they stay away from them in the first place. Stop making the rest of us victims because you want to be oh, well, we need to have a soft hand. No one cares about what you want. No one. Zero people care. I don't care. My neighbor doesn't care. The guy up the road doesn't care. We do not care about that. What we care about is the fact that this now makes our state and every person that lives in this state look like crap. That's my problem in a nutshell. And I'm not going to give you the traditional farewell or greeting because this is just too aggravating. And I think this needs to come to a stop. And we need to have a large conversation as a society, as a whole society, not just here in Maine, but worldwide, about this exact problem right here. The Good Samaritan gave up how much of his time to get that hurt man off the road and into a hotel somewhere that he then paid for. This is the same thing as if that man stabbed that guy in the back. That is so morally twisted and wrong. It needs to be addressed. And it needs to be stopped. Good day.